Today on Paranormal Insights, we're going to look at mind control and if you're thinking under the influence.
And we've got a question from Philippe, who wants a little bit of insight regarding a possible job shift.
And a quick talk with author, Emmy Award winner, Brian Sussman, and global warming. I'm Joseph Ernest Martin.
And I'm Linda Potter.
And this is Paranormal Insights, where we bring you the latest and best from the metaphysical world.
Here you'll get real tools and insights to your questions as we bring you answers from beyond the ordinary.
Linda is a hypnotist with a specialty in guided meditation and past life regression, and the author of a wonderful new book, The Miracle of Self-Healing.
An award-winning psychic for over 20 years, Joseph Ernest Martin is author of the international bestseller, The Quest to Row, and recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence.
This topic of mind control is actually rather mind-blowing, don't you think?
It's amazing at the depth and the width and the breadth that mind control is going on, and people don't even have a clue.
They don't have a clue because it is so pervasive and it's so calculated, and people spend their entire lives planning strategies to try to maneuver as a people and a nation into making certain decisions, going certain ways. And I think people of the world, like just generally, when they look at American news and then they look at news from all over, you find a huge difference in how the same events are reported.
You do, and yet you wonder if that's not even being manipulated as kind of a disinformation campaign where we think we're getting different information, let's say in Europe, and maybe in America we're getting something else, but it keeps us guessing and it keeps us as sheeple trying to keep chasing this tail that who knows where it's coming from.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1.
Who hasn't thought at one time or another about having the power to influence someone's thoughts? Whether it be to encourage someone to love you, or a boss for promotion, or a coworker to not be acting quite so crazy. We've seen the idea of brainwashing or mind control introduced into modern media with such movies as the 1962 classic, The Manchurian Candidate, where an American POW is brainwashed to become a political assassin. Or the more recent film, They Live, where aliens have implanted subliminal messages into everything that we see, hear, or buy in order to control the human population. Advertisers are often accused of planting secret buy messages into their promotions to subconsciously prompt people to purchase their products. And in a famous test in a movie theater, frames of the message buy popcorn and pictures of popcorn were inserted into the movie that was playing to see if they could increase popcorn sales in the audience. And they did. The most frightening of this was Hitler's Joseph Goebbels, who effectively worked to mind control an entire nation by using their unconscious fears and desires. He said that if you tell a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. When a group becomes under the influence of mind control, you can tell, because they are no longer able to discuss things in a rational way. Famous public relations titan Edward Bernays purposefully created a fake news agency in America called the Middle America Information Bureau to spread lies and propaganda about another country's leader to overthrow their government. He succeeded. And today, with all the knowledge and technology that we possess as a nation, rumors abound about current techniques for mind control of the American public. Are we being influenced and controlled? The answer has to be a resounding yes. But the level of control and influence varies between each individual person. Technologies like broadcast television, the internet, your cell phone, and others transmit specific wave patterns of light and energy It is theorized that this invasive wave pattern will cause a genetic mutation in the mass of society, in the collective human gene pool, and will permanently scar the following generations of humanity, thus changing us forever. Those who wish to stay in control of money and power in our society stop at nothing to create non-events, to keep our attention away from what is really happening in the world. They use mind control techniques to keep us angry and afraid of each other. They create endless wars, both big and small. They create new drugs and foods to keep us sedated. They create money and economic troubles to force us to not only look at surviving, but just to be able to survive until the next day. They use anything and everything to hold us back in order to control the flow of money and power in the world. However, things are not hopeless. Because we are still sentient beings with the capacity to change our brain patterns within 2 weeks of a new thought, we can alter and reverse any damage done. If you want to start coming out from under the influence of mass mind control, start with this simple axiom: question authority.
The thing is, we've got to take control back.
And we can take control back because there are so many avenues for information that exist on the planet right now that just did not exist 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Absolutely, and I think the internet is one of the best highways, but we still have to be vigilant that what we're getting on the internet is to our truth. And like you said, we've got to really be careful that we're discerning in what it is we're pulling into our belief system and what we think is true. Is mind control real? You bet it is. In the 1950s, the CIA developed the project MK Ultra. This was a secret program using U.S. citizens as test subjects for a variety of mind control experiments. Sidney Gottlieb was the lead scientist on this project, and a book titled The Very Best Men by Evan Thomas has been written about this very subject. In the late 60s and early 70s, the CIA then funded the Pandora Project. That experimented with extremely low-frequency microwaves to send signals to the human brain. The resulting evidence showed how human brains can be controlled remotely, causing physiological and physical harm. Dr. Ross Addy was the head of this program that affected brain signals, manipulating moods and also behavior in people. In the September 2012 edition of Online Daily Mail, conspiracy theorists blame military for 4 high-profile television presenters suddenly speaking gibberish. One of the best known of these presenters is Judith Shenlin, better known as Judge Judy. As she was recording her courtroom television show, she began by speaking as she normally does. But soon, she began saying undecipherable words. She was taken to the hospital after uttering a line of words that made absolutely no sense and were accompanied by double vision. Then there's the Los Angeles CBS reporter, Serene Branson, that incoherently delivered her words at the Staples Center during the Grammy Music Awards in 2011. She said her head was pounding and that she was terrified and confused. She was unable to speak to such a degree that after about 10 seconds, the producers took her off camera and cut to a video. The third high-profile individual is a Canadian news reporter by the name of Mark McAllister. He was reporting on the contribution his country made to the military campaign in Libya, and suddenly, he too fell into unexplainable gibberish. The last of these 4 is Sarah Carlson of WISC TV in Wisconsin. She began to report on Obama's health care reforms, and all was fine, and then suddenly she began having trouble forming words and was unable to speak. The camera shifted to her very startled co-presenter. A circulated theory puts the blame right at the doorstep of the military's presumed research with microwaves being used as a mind control weapon. It's said that when microwave signals stimulate the brain with fake images and voices, you get the exact result that these 4 TV presenters displayed with their on-air obscure breakdowns. Imagine this technology being in the wrong hands by someone with a very malevolent agenda. Could it be that that's already the case? The manner with which we can be influenced in our thinking is done every day by the television and the subliminal messages that are woven into the broadcast presentations. They can affect us to purchase a particular item we would not ordinarily. And the thing is, we're not even consciously aware that we've been manipulated.
Well, the old paradigm really was you trust. So you have Walter Cronkite on television, who you just, of course, you love the guy. He just exudes trust and honesty. And when he says it, you know it's true. However, in this day and age, anyone with a microphone, I believe, calls themselves a reporter, unfortunately, and they say things that are just beyond the pale. Reporters are supposed to report facts, not give us their opinions, and I think they've lost sight of that. If you don't want to be a victim of mind control being used today, there is one primary tool you can use to break this cycle: your own brain. You can start by actively using your brain to challenge and research for yourself what is actually going on in the world. Use alternative newspapers from all over the world, and thanks to the internet, you can find and print out information and perspectives not offered in this country. Realize that your thoughts are actually things. Negative thoughts generate negative realities. Rigid, dogmatic, fearful, closed-minded, irrational, uninformed thinking literally creates different types of brain activity that is limiting and unhealthy. Strengthen your body. Your mind and body are intimately connected. Eat the right foods, move around, break a sweat, drink pure water. These things and more will help to give you a fresh perspective on reality. Heal yourself and your relationships. Carrying around emotional pain and grudges will limit your higher development. Become unstuck. Reevaluate your thoughts and positions about life and reality. Because the universe is much bigger and stranger than we imagine, and mostly, try your best to love your fellow humans and help them to become awake and active in this lifetime. You may find that their attempts to mind control us truly falls on deaf ears. If you think that the human body is not an antenna for all this energy and information, then here's a little experiment you can try on your own, and it'll really blow your mind. Take your car remote and go as far away from your car, just one step past the car remote not working. So when you hit the button, there's no sound on your car remote. Then take your car remote, hold it to your chin, and hit open. The signal will be amplified by your own body, which acts as an antenna, and your car will open up.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That's amazing.
Our bodies are receiving this information like crazy. And we are literally information antennas in this universe. And even with like the Hadron Collider, spring theory, M theory, our vibrational energy is affected by other fields of energy.
And what we're taking into our systems with cell phones all by themselves. All by themselves. It's toxic. We know that it is. We use them every day. But we need to be more cognizant how much it is affecting us. And where you can not put it up to your ear, for example, don't do it. Put it on speakerphone. But start thinking how you can get yourself up and out of being manipulated by this whole mind control and all the energy we're being bombarded with. And now we have Emmy Award winner and author Brian Sussman.
I'm here with Brian Sussman, an award-winning, best-selling author, Emmy Award-winning TV meteorologist, and one of the first people here in the United States to break the ClimateGate story. Now, of course, everybody's heard about global warming and all these different causes and CO2, but there seems to be a lot of conflicting data on this topic. You wrote a book about this.
Yeah, I was the guy who broke the scandal, and the ClimateGate email scandal, for those who have never heard of this was a big deal in the world of science. There's a place called the Climate Research Unit at East Anglia University in the UK. These were the keepers of the world temperature. I mean, these were the guys who decided what the temperature of the world is and has been. And there were a lot of us scientists who disagreed with a lot of their conclusions. We were saying, now hold on, wait a second. It seems to us you're massaging data. You're actually taking temperature data and altering it to fit your global agenda, your global political agenda. And there's been a lot of contention over the years between the two camps. People like me saying, wait a second, you guys are not getting the temperature right. And others who are saying, hold on, we got it right. Well, then finally, someone from the inside at the Climate Research Unit decided, okay, we've had enough of this scam. They took a bunch of emails that proved that there was a scandal going on, manipulation of data, massaging of data, withholding data, all for political purposes. And so once these emails were leaked onto the world stage, suddenly everything guys like me had been saying for years was confirmed. That was a really big deal. And I'm all for integrity in science.
Yes.
I believe in honesty in science. So when that occurred, it was like a big victory for the truth.
Well, you are not just nobody. You've been on CBS News for many years.
Yeah.
The Bay Area.
Yes.
You're respected. You're knowledgeable.
Yes.
Why would you risk your reputation to kind of go against the flow of all this other stuff that's coming out?
Well, what I did was truly paranormal. You know, that's what I cut against the grain. But see, my problem is, if the dots don't connect, if I can't get an I, a dot over the I, a cross on the T, then I have a real problem. And I'm one of these guys, I will speak what's in my heart. You know, I will open mouth and insert Florsheim occasionally. So in this particular case, I had to speak out, and it was harming my career on television. There's no question about that.
So, you know, you were talking about the political reasons that some of these things have been happening. But, you know, I'm even wondering, you know, I would think, what political reasons could there be? There's either global warming or there isn't. What's the politics in that?
Well, this is good. So the ClimateGate book exposed the global warming scam, as I like to say. That became a bestseller. My second book, Eco-Tyranny, talks about another scam involving the environmental movement. Now, this is a bit risky as well, because listen, we all want clean air, we all want clean water. That's what we all desire, that. But you see, there are many spokespersons in the environmental movement who aren't for that. Who don't care about that. Instead, they're pushing a global agenda which really seeks political domination. And so I go through the history of this movement, going all the way back to Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, who, by the way, proposed the first climate scare. They proposed climate cooling in 1883. And I fast forwarded to this present date. So Eco-Tyranny is a fascinating read.
Well, you know, people are going to want to know how to get these books, how to find out more information, how to contact you.
Yes.
What is an easy way for them to get a hold of you?
But you can always get either one of my books, ClimateGate or Eco-Tyranny, on Amazon.com. But my website is probably the spiciest. I have a lot of blogs there. I don't make any money off the website, but it's a great conduit. DebateMeAlGore.com. Pretty easy to remember. Got a laugh out of the camera person, got a smile out of you.
Well, that's a great name. You know, if someone's wondering what they can do, you know, I know part of it starts with people learning what's actually happening and then talking with their friends. But if someone wanted to take a little step further, what's something they could do?
Well, I think, you know, we need to arm ourselves with the truth. It's all about information and gathering as much information as we can and then using that information appropriately. So I think that's the best step.
And these books contain the information?
Absolutely. 420 footnotes in Eco-Tyranny and probably 250 in ClimateGate. So I really try to do the research.
You know, I have to tell you, I've been going to Conspiracy Con for many, many years. And when I got here this time and I said, okay, now who do I need to talk to? Everybody said, you've got to talk to Brian Sussman.
Right on, brother.
He's got the information. He's got the real track of what's going on, not only with climate warming, but the reasons behind why this is happening. And that's something we have to understand and wake up to. Brian, I have to tell you, what a joy to meet you today. Thank you so much.
Very good, thank you.
You know, I have to tell you, I just loved talking with Brian Sussman. He is just so dynamic, so intelligent, so incredible. I've even had Brian Sussman Day in San Francisco one year. He has done so much research on this, and what he has uncovered is to me really kind of mind-blowing.
Well, and because of his notoriety and the fact that people listen to him because he has a built-in audience, when he starts digging, the information that he gets and shares it with everybody really does make you pay attention. got a question from Philippe, who wants a little bit of insight regarding a possible job shift.
Hello. I have been having a little bit of concern about my work and the people that I work with, so I'm considering either getting a new job somewhere else or maybe going into a new field. What do you think?
Felipe, that's an important question these days. Job, work, career, it has a lot of energy around it. Whether we should stay or go, that's very important. I've asked your guides to come in. I've asked my guides to come in. Let's see what they have to say for you about job or career, or if you need to be looking for a new job or career. I want to tell you right away that you are in a cycle of rebirth, and that this rebirth cycle for you is really going to be indicating a change of job or career. So right away, you get this as part of your message. I want to tell you that I don't believe you found the place to go yet. I don't think it's open. I don't think there's the contact been made. It doesn't appear to me as though that energy isn't quite in place. But I do see you changing job or career, and honestly, it looks like this year to me. It could spill into the first month of January, but this year is a much quicker timeline for you. Right now, I have to tell you that this move for you into a new job or career is going to be successful. It's going to be the right move. You're going to do great. This is exactly what you need to do. I don't feel you want to do it though. So I feel resistance about making this change, resistance about laying the foundation for this new opportunity that I believe is going to be better for you. The universe is also going to be giving you messages that are going to be suggesting to you that a change at this time will make you unhappy. So you can ask yourself, why would the universe ever want to push you to feel unhappy? It's because sometimes the universe wants to give you a little push to make you make the decision, to have you be passionate about making the change in your own life. The way this is going to open up for you is because of your ability to talk to other people, communicate and connect with them. Because I feel very strongly about this, for you, you need to make phone calls, follow up with emails, send cards, show up, take someone out to lunch, and make a real connection that is persistent and appropriate. Now, I don't want you to slip into aggressive on this because that isn't going to work for anybody. But what I do want you to do is consistently and repeatedly make connection and follow up with that. This process for you at this time, I got to tell you, I just don't feel you're going to like any of it. I feel you have internal resistance to this change at this time. Your guides, however, want you to know that this is going to be a great move for you. It's going to be a successful move for you, and that you are going to benefit from this change, especially in 2013. If these were my cards about job and career, first I'd go, darn, I'd much rather enjoy the process I'm in. But realizing that success is around the corner for you should hold you steady to this path and bring you the success your guides say you're going to have.
Felipe, we're in a time of magnificent change. More than ever, we're waking up to our current circumstances, whether it's work, personal relationships, or career, just to name a few. And we're wondering if we're in the right place. It's almost as if there's an inner whisper that we're beginning to hear. A whisper that's guiding us to reevaluate many aspects of our lives like we've never done before. The thing is, when you start to have work concerns and the people you work with come into question, the winds of change are in the air. Likely, that's the case for you. But first, let's take a look at your concerns. To begin with, I suggest making a list, either in your head or on paper, whatever works best for you. What is important here is to really look at the positives and the negatives of the work situation that you're currently in. On your list, include work environment, integrity of the workplace, and the people you work with. And don't forget to consider the way you feel each day going into work and spending your time there. Reflect on the quality of life this job provides, like every other aspect of work. Is it more positive or more negative? This little exercise is going to give you an overview that will highlight the pros and cons of staying at this job or not. And while you're in the midst of pondering a possible job change, Start to look around at what appeals to you. What kind of job or career gets you excited inside? A position where you'd wake up and feel excited about going to. There are so many different vocations to choose from. It's only figuring out what it is that suits you in particular. Felipe, I think that you're very smart by thinking ahead, by questioning your current job situation and recognizing that it may be time to consider a new job or career. With such proactive thoughts, it's only a matter of time till you decide what the best path is for you.
Felipe, we hope that this was helpful to you, some of the information to consider on this new adventure where career and job is concerned.
And what I like about Felipe is that he's being proactive. He's just questioning right now if this is something he should start doing because he's starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable with his current work situation.
And everything that comes up energetically around Felipe and his current job, at least to me when I look at it, shows really discomfort would maybe be the kindest word, or maybe not being part of the right work group at this time.
Yeah, and he's also getting this sense of having to get up and out of himself and get out of his comfort zone a little bit because his mind is telling him one thing to move and his heart is not wanting to leave it.
Not wanting to leave it. Change is hard and scary for most people. I don't blame you for being a little nervous about the change stuff, but know that I believe anyway, we believe for you. Success is ahead of you on this big time. Don't be nervous. Go forth.
You're going to do it.
We want to hear from you. We want to answer your questions and address your topics. If you have questions you want answered or topics you want us to look into, we're easy to find. You can find me at questtarot.com or Joseph at questtarot.com.
And you can find me at my website at sightforhealing.com and listen to me on my internet radio show, The Open Door, on Scepter Radio Network. You can view this program on Comcast 17, Channel 17 in Sacramento, California, and on accesssacramento.org. And don't forget to watch our companion show, Paranormal Connection, with host Donna Wilbur.
You can find us on Vimeo, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search Joseph Ernest Martin, Linda Potter, or the show title, Paranormal Insights. And be sure to watch our weekly series, The Magic Minute, where we bring you easy-to-use everyday magic to make your life better every Wednesday on Vimeo and YouTube, because it only takes a moment to make magic. And be sure to click like or subscribe after viewing the video.
We want to hear from you so we can bring you our paranormal insights and answers from beyond the ordinary.